Good evening, everyone. I was asked to make an educational video regarding my antique stirrup collection, so I hope that you find something interesting, and I also hope that you learn something tonight. I've been collecting stirrups for many years from all over the world, including the United States, the United Kingdom, Australia, and different countries in South America. I'd like to start by first talking about the slipper stirrup. These would have been commonly used in the 1850s, 1860s in the United States, United Kingdom, and other places too. This one is my favorite stirrup in the entire collection. It's, as you can see, it's in very good condition. There is no damage to it. It's got a pigskin sole. And what's common to these slipper stirrups, if we turn them over and look at the sole, we will see a cobbler's mark. Each person that made these slipper stirrups would have their own maker's mark. That's how we could tell who made them. As you can see, they're all different, and so on for each one. Some of these on the suspension arch have a leather covering over it. Some do not. As you can see here, this suspension arch is plain metal. So what I don't know is if it originally had leather on here or not. But as you can see, some do, and some only have remnants. Some of these stirrups have also had repairs. Now, the suspension arch on this is a little bit thicker, but the leather over it is in quite good condition. But we can see that a repair has been done to the heel. Now, the skeleton of these slipper stirrups is made of steel. It would be very similar to this stirrup right here. Now, this is more or less a platform that the shoe would have rested on. And you can see how it would move. And that's similar to the skeleton that would be in these slipper stirrups. Now, the foot would not have been placed in there directly. The ladies would have worn a shoe, which would have gone inside these stirrups. The exception being this one right here. When I put my hand in, it's not flat like all the others, and it feels like there is an arch that has been molded to the foot. And so we can speculate as to why that might be. Could someone have not been able to wear a shoe from an injury or such? And perhaps this is molded to the foot. These are questions that we will never know. But you can see it's more crude than the others. It looks like it was possibly homemade. Now, similar to the slipper stirrups are the clog. And you can see how much shorter they are. And only the toe would have fit in here. And on these too, they usually have a cobbler's mark. This arch is still wrapped in leather. That's in very nice condition. There's no cobbler's mark on the bottom of this one, but you can see it's pigskin. And those two are very similar, just a little bit smaller. Now, if you're lucky, sometimes they come with the strapping. I think this is probably the original sewed-on strap on this one. This stirrup has a lovely handmade rope, a leather rope. It's very delicate. That part has pulled loose, but it's very intricately braided. And I felt very lucky to see an example of such a interesting leather roping. These stirrups down here are very typical of what would have been used in the United States in the 1860s. They're made of iron. They can be very simple. A very common motif would be the heart on the bottom. The cutout shapes, there's many different types of shapes. The paddle is common, teardrop. This is a nice little example of, I think they try to make it less slippery and etched in some treads to possibly get some more grip on the shoe. This one has a nice lion motif. Now these fancier stirrups, these are examples of South American stirrups. Peru, Argentina. The heaviest stirrup in the whole collection is not necessarily the largest one. It's this one right here. I want to say that's probably at least a pound. And these are brass. And as you can see, each one's different. They're similar styling, but each stirrup is just a little bit different from the other. A common motif on these South American stirrups is a hand gripping the fixture that the leather would have gone into. We commonly see the hand motif. Here's another one right here. And I know there's another one here too, right here. So we see them in brass, silver. This is sterling silver, silver plate. This one is iron. Not quite as fancy as the other ones. I love the motif on this one right here. It's like a little girl playing with her dog. Now these stirrups here are Brazilian stirrups in a bell-shaped form. I can't document if these were specifically used for side saddle. I know that this shape was also used by the Brazilian cavalry, but usually we see a star motif on those. So these may or may have not been used with the side saddle. However, they're beautiful. They look quite feminine to me with the scroll work and the horse. And the beautiful work up on top. And I also love the motif on this one, which is the dog. Beautiful work along the arms. What we often will see too on these South American stirrups, a little paste jewel that is attached to the center, and they're in varying colors. These smaller ones, those are child's stirrups. And these here are not actually meant to be used. Sometimes they will sell those as children's stirrups. However, they are obviously for decorative purposes. That's quite a nice decoration. That one is sterling silver. Now these stirrups that we'll finish with are examples of later safety stirrups. And they're interesting in their own right. This one is called a Latchford stirrup. And it was meant that when the lady was riding, that if she would get hung up, it would come loose. Then she would be able to break free. So that's called a Latchford. This one is called a Scott's safety stirrup. This one was patented in 1885. And the mechanism is a little bit different, or it would break away that way. So the collecting is ongoing. I'm always on the lookout for more stirrups, especially if I'm always on the lookout for a good deal. So I hope that you enjoyed this as much as I did going through this collection. If you ever have any questions, please reach out to me. Thank you.